Hey everybody, I'm ZeldaMaster and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. In this one we're going to be taking on level 1, which is known as the Eagle, and that will make sense why it's called the Eagle at the end of the dungeon. But let's go ahead and get started with this dungeon, the very first one within the game. And I'll be honest, it is very easy for it being the very first dungeon, which, I mean, no surprise, it's the first dungeon, so it should be easy, but I want to say the game, it does ramp up in difficulty if you compare this dungeon compared to, like, other ones, which should also be no surprise, but I don't know, just for how short this game is, you wouldn't really think for it to, you know, escalate so quickly, but I feel like it kind of does, which isn't a bad thing at all, and I feel like I kind of left the wrong impression to a lot of you guys in the comments with, you know, my feelings about this game. And by the way, before we do continue on, so I got 2 keys from the 2 side rooms. We have to unlock this door. Well, here's something we can also do. If we try to exit the dungeon and then, wait here, let me enter it again. You'll see that somehow, yeah, it glitches and just the door opens by itself. So the door is already open for us and we have both keys, so we didn't even have to use a small key. This is kind of like a way to bypass one of the small keys within this dungeon, or you can just kind of carry it because the keys carry on from dungeon to dungeon, which is hilarious. But that's, you know, how the game works, because it's an outdated game and I'm not questioning it. And to kind of add to what I was saying earlier, is I feel like you know, I gave a wrong impression. It's not that I dislike this game or really think it's bad. It's that I compared it to The Legend of Zelda, the franchise that I love, the games that I play on the channel, you know, pretty much what you guys see me play all the time. Yeah, those games, you know, I like them for specific reasons, and they all tie down to certain things that didn't really make it into this game, and that's not a bad thing, and that is because this game is very old. So yeah, it's just definitely nothing to complain about, I guess you could say. I just kind of was mentioning it, and I was surprised that a lot of people took my criticism for this game as, you know, me complaining or, yeah, it being a bad thing, because in reality I just see it as, you know, I didn't really grow up playing this game. I don't see it being like the Zelda games that I love, so it definitely feels outdated, but as a game for its time, I bet this game was amazing. But it wasn't around my time, because by the time I was playing games, the N64 was already out, you know? I didn't grow up around this game, so I'm sure older people must, you know, have very fond memories of especially the first Zelda game, which is this one, of course. But myself, yeah, my first game ever was Ocarina of Time, so I feel like the way I look at this game is a lot different than maybe other people. You know, you might have a completely different perspective, and just overall, I feel like nostalgia really changes people's opinions on everything, really. It can really make you blind to something. Like, maybe a lot of people who grew up playing this game might think it's such a good game, but someone who never played this game doesn't see that, and it's just because, yeah, people who are nostalgic about it see the game being amazing, of course. So yeah, I'm not one of those people, but I still enjoy it for what it is. Trust me, I still like this game. It's just I don't love it because it doesn't still feel like a Zelda game compared to the ones I play. Can I walk around in this room? Yes, I can. So here's an old man. Eastmost Peninsula is the secret. I honestly don't know what this means till this day. You know, the first time I actually played this game, whoa, was like 10 years ago, and yeah, till now I still don't know. And this game is, what, 30 years old? I don't know if anyone has truly deciphered. I'm sure if I Google it I could figure it out, but I never really did. Maybe that's my fault. I should have if you guys know what it is, you know, I'm not going to Google it. If you guys know what that means, let me know. But for me, I'm assuming maybe it just means the boss, because the boss is at the eastmost place of the temple, you know, so it would make sense in why it said Eastmost Peninsula is the secret, but I'm not entirely sure. Regardless, as you can see, now it's starting to make sense in why this temple was called the Eagle. I mean, maybe you could see it. I could see it already, and that is because, yeah, it's shaped like an eagle. That's the whole point. Every single room kind of leads into a shape that is the shape of an eagle, and every single dungeon has something specific that it's a shape of, which is pretty cool. But alright, let's go ahead and just throw this. Woo! These guys are pretty annoying because they have boomerangs, and I believe we're actually going to be getting one of them from these enemies, but not in this room. It's going to be in a different room before the boss, I believe. But here, I also want to pick up something that's going to be very valuable if you ask me. So let's go ahead and quickly run. There we go. Push this. Enter here. And oh, I love these sections. So this is like so this is meant to be 2D. As you can see, Link is now walking in yeah, it looks like a Mario game or something, you know, it's the whole 2D setting, but then all of a sudden it's top down when Link walks up the stairs. It doesn't make much sense and the way it looks and everything, but I don't know, I find it hilarious. And overall, I really like the rooms like that, because those are rooms that you're going to be finding throughout many dungeons, and they usually have very important items. But alright, let's go ahead and now backtrack a little bit. And I believe all we need to do is head inside the rooms that we haven't entered. We're pretty much done with this dungeon. It's very short, and like I said, because it's the first dungeon, of course. But yeah, for what it is, it definitely doesn't feel like it lasted. It's like a couple minutes long, if anything. But it makes sense. This game overall can be beaten within an hour, if not less. I'm pretty sure I can beat it within an hour if wanted, maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me, but I bet I can. I think. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and now... Oh yeah, now also I have the boomerang, which is super awesome and useful. And I want to go ahead and grab this, which is going to be the small key. Open up this. As you can see, I have an extra small key still, and that is because, you know, I walked and had the door glitch in a sense. But, alright, let's go ahead and just fight the boss. So this here is the first boss in Zelda, which is... Okay, let's not die to it here. The first boss in Zelda, there we go. We killed it. And it never really appears again. It's like a giant dragon horse thing. I already forgot the name of it, but I believe it's within a or something. I don't know. Regardless, it dies very, very quickly. And you just gotta somehow hit it within the head. And once you do, well, our very first piece of the Triforce. Yes! This is pretty much the objective throughout the game. If you watch the intro cutscene, it's like the intro of the game. I skipped it though, and plus the manual has more of the game's story. But, you know, we don't live in that era. You know, usually the story and everything is in the game itself, not in the manual. But it makes sense because, you know, this game had... you know, hardware limitations and all of that, and it was an old game. And I'm not complaining when I say that. I'm just stating the fact that it was... and that's it. So, also you may notice that we picked up the bow from the temple, but we can't use it. As you can see, my cursor just hovers over it. That is because we need arrows for it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to get the arrows, but I believe we need additional rupees on us. So, let's go ahead and... Yes! Sweet. Well, I could have picked up that rupee as well, but alright. It's a secret to everybody. Also, the reason why there's so little text is because I'm pretty sure the game couldn't have more than a certain amount of text on the screen. So, yeah, like I said, when I mention stuff like this, I'm not complaining. It's more so to compare how games have changed so much. I feel like a couple of you guys in the comments of the last video may have took what I was saying a little too seriously, when in reality, yeah, I wasn't really trying to hate, because there's no way I can hate on the game that started it all. Honest, and I wouldn't be playing it if I hated it. I don't hate this game at all. It's just like, if you compare it to every other Zelda game, it doesn't really feel like it. I mean, yeah, it has the first animations, the first music, the first everything, which I guess ties it to Zelda, but my point is, you know, in 2017, this game feels outdated, and yeah, you can't really change anything about that. Though A Link to the Past, for how old it is, it doesn't feel outdated in 2017. I know that's just my opinion, but I strongly do think that. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me, because A Link to the Past still feels like a game that can come out today, especially with indie developers focusing on 8-bit, or not 8-bit, but like 16-bit, or just overall retro-style looking games. And A Link to the Past looks and plays like those games, is my point. And, yeah, okay, let's just go ahead and walk around. So what I'm doing right now is I'm heading to the shop that we went, I believe, in the last video to obtain the bombs. Well, now they have arrows. Well, I believe they always had arrows, but now we can actually purchase them because we have the bows. So we're going to go ahead and do so, and Now we can freaking shoot arrows. And I love the way the arrows are in this game because I'm just going to go ahead and show off how it works. Wait, bam. So as you saw, it took from my rupees. Yes. I don't know if that's also like hardware limitations or something, but in general, you can only shoot, yeah, pretty much like your arrows take your rupees, which I don't mind. I actually really like, and I'm glad that is a feature because it makes it overall much easier to have arrows, because I mean I don't really care for rupees that much. But anyways, we are heading to the next temple, guys, which is right up here. Let me kill this this wave of Octoroks before we advance, and please give me a heart. Oh man, okay, whatever. Well, I think we've made it, and I don't think there's really much else to do in terms of side questing, but yeah, here we are. And normally I like to split these episodes into at least like a dungeon an episode. I don't want to do more than a dungeon, because especially for those who want to follow this as a guide, I feel like it would just be overall a lot easier to yeah, have it split into videos per dungeon. So I'm gonna end off the episode here. I feel bad because yeah, this episode's so short, and overall this series is gonna have really short episodes and be overall a short series altogether, and that is because this game is very short. But overall, great game. Glad we're playing it, and just looking at this, looking how the game looks, and comparing it to yeah, Breath of the Wild that we're getting soon, it's definitely mind-blowing. And I mean, it makes you appreciate, like I said, games back then. And overall, yeah, I'm definitely really happy to be in today's age of gaming, to where I could play a game like Breath of the Wild very soon. And this wasn't like the best of gaming, because yeah, if I grew up way back, or you know, if this was like the best game I played, I mean, yeah, I think of how much people missed out on, those who've only played games like this and maybe never got a chance to play any other games in their lifetime or something. I know this got really like random and kind of dark, maybe, you know, not getting a chance to play a game in your lifetime, maybe dying, but I mean, my point is, yeah, it's just overall crazy how much gaming has changed. And I'm sure people who played this game would have never thought that we would have games like nowadays, especially, I mean, a good example like Resident Evil 7. That game looks literally like real life, even with VR. It's been a game I've been playing recently, but I don't know why I'm mentioning it now. Anyways, yeah, I just thought kind of ramble on, but regardless, it's the end of the episode, so it didn't really matter. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and next time we're going to be taking on the second level, the second dungeon, the second temple, whatever you want to call it, within the original Legend of Zelda. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. It's, like I said, it's just nice to kind of play this retro game and get a perspective of old school games and whatever. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited for my Breath of the Wild Let's Play, because that will be on release, of course. But anyways, I'm going to stop rambling and whatever for this video. And well, again, thank you all so much for watching. I've been ZeldaMaster, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!